had always been a fantasy. It had been a very useful fantasy, not only for him but for France. The public reaction to his ideas was an immediate demonstration that the individual idea could ignite a fervour and a useful fervour in a mass of people. But the longer he lived, the clearer it became that individual freedom did not exist.
Chez Sartre, toujours cette idée de l'échec, quand même. Parce que justement, la réussite signifierait la fin de la liberté, presque, paradoxalement. Ça signifierait la fin de la liberté, puisque, par exemple, la révolution qui s'installe ne veut plus reconnaître les nouveaux problèmes. Elle est établie, elle est institutionnalisée, et elle désigne comme traîtres à la révolution tous ceux qui osent encore lever le doigt pour dire ça va pas ou pour protester. Donc d'où ce style chez Sartre d'une certaine façon, d'une sorte de révolte perpétuelle.
As Sartre's ideas became more extreme, even his supporters found it difficult to follow him.
In the 70s, Sartre made himself the advocate of social violence, which was actually a counter-violence to the violence of the government. And he went so far as to support the terrorist attack on the Olympic Games in Munich, with this argument that terrorism is the atomic bomb of the poor.
The only weapon available to the Palestinians is terrorism. It's a terrible weapon, but the poor and the underdogs don't have any other weapon. Violence exists. It exists in regimes run by police who are themselves violent. People who are victims of such regimes can do no other than respond with violence. I see it as a valuable political gesture.
Il était quelqu'un qui faisait l'histoire. Et je crois que son ambition a été réellement celle-là. Donc Sartre, c'est une grande ambition politique. Une ambition politique ratée, peut-être, une ambition politique qui a connu des heures et des malheurs. Mais enfin, une ambition politique. Je veux dire par là qu'on ne peut pas dire... I mean by that you cannot say that there is on one side the philosophy and on the other side the politics. You cannot separate them. You cannot... and if you consider, for instance, that Sartre made only bullshit with politics, you cannot save the philosophy. You cannot, there is not two Sartre. It is the same one.
A lot of times you will hear that Sartre is incoherent, Sartre has betrayed himself, Sartre has been with the communists, without the communists, against the communists. I mean, that he misunderstood this, misunderstood that, he made mistakes on this and that. I mean, I don't think that is very important. It's an attitude. It's do not take anything for granted, criticize it, attack, find your own way. He would say something wonderful. He would say, I think against myself. You have to think against everything which has been given to you by education. You have to criticize every single thing which is being given to you.
Sartre spent his life testing the limits of traditional thinking. But at the heart of this philosophy is one deceptively simple question. If human beings are truly free to do anything they want, how are we to live our lives? Sartre never did find a convincing answer to this question, but he was never less than unflinchingly honest in the attempt.
Il va faire une critique permanente des valeurs pour essayer de fonder philosophiquement la valeur de la liberté. Et ça, je dirais qu'il n'y est pas véritablement arrivé. C'est-à-dire qu'il y est arrivé en nous montrant par le chemin qu'il a fait que la liberté, ce n'est pas un but, ce n'est pas non plus comment dire, un moteur, quelque chose qui vous anime, c'est une action. L'important, ça n'est pas tant la liberté, c'est le chemin qu'on trace soi-même pour y tendre.
Madame, mademoiselle, monsieur, bonsoir. Des dizaines de milliers de personnes ont rendu un dernier hommage à Jean-Paul Sartre.
When Sartre was buried on the 19th of April 1980, over 50,000 people followed the coffin and millions watched on television. No philosopher had ever had a bigger following.
When he died, somebody said, now that he died, we've lost a compass, because we will not be able to say to ourselves when something important happens, what does Sartre think about it, you know, which used to be the way we would behave. So basically, he would be an ethical compass.
Cette habitude de se mêler de ce qui ne le regardait pas, cette façon de mettre son nez dans les affaires du monde, cette façon de ne pas laisser les puissants en répit. Il y a quelque chose de très sympathique et de très noble dans cette attitude. Cette philosophie du non.
He gave our generation a sense of freedom that directed our lives. We made choices that I think we can still identify with. I'm just aware that at the present time, the message of freedom that Sartre is delivering is not accepted, as if this burden of freedom that he's putting on everyone's shoulders is too weighty. And maybe we are in a time when people don't want to hear about freedom.